Hello friends, welcome to this section. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to install MySQL. MySQL is a database management system. So I'm going to walk you through step by step on how you can install the application successfully in your PC. And after that, I'm going to also walk you through the interface so you can get comfortable and familiar with the interface before starting to learn or work with the MySQL Workbench. All right, so let's get into it. So my browser is open now. I want you to use any browser of your choice. That could be Google Chrome like mine, or Mozilla Firefox, or even Microsoft Edge. Let's go to the address bar and type my SQL downloads. Okay. So when it opens, click on the first link here, my SQL downloads. It will take you to this URL, which is mysql.com/downloads. And when you get to this web page, scroll down to the bottom at this point. So you see this MySQL Community GPL downloads. Click on it. Next, scroll down, click on this particular one, MySQL installer for Windows. All right, so when you get to this particular page, first I want you to make sure that you are selecting the recent version of the MySQL Workbench application and that you select your operating system, in my case, Windows. You have an option to download either of them, so I'm going to download the first one. I'll click on it. Now, when you get to this page, you don't need to log in if you already have an account, which I don't think that most of you have the account. But even if you don't have an account, there's no need for signing up or to log in, right? All you need to do is come down here. You see this no thanks, just start my download. Click on it and the download should start ASAP, right? So you can see it's currently downloading. I've actually downloaded it before, but for demonstration, I'm re-downloading it to show you how to download yours and then walk you through how to get it installed in your PC. So mine is done downloading. I can either click on it to start installation directly or to click on this so that it will show me in my folder. So let me click on it to show me in the download directory in my file explorer. So here you have it. So I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to say yes. It might still prompt me again. Okay, say yes. Just give it some time for initialization and other things. Now, when it brings up this dialog box for you to choose the particular setup type, you have several options for server only, client only, the full applications or products that comes with it. Custom, I'm going to use custom. You can use custom or full. I would suggest you use full for your sake, or you use custom as I will do here. So I'm going to click on servers. Okay, bring down this until just select one of them here and move it. Then close this. Come to this part, workbench. I just want the server and the workbench. So click this. Close this as well. For documentation, I don't need any documentation. I also do not need any sample. Yeah, okay, but let me allow for just one sample. Okay, so I'll close this. Now that I'm done, I'm just going to click on next. Then it says the following products will be downloaded. Execute that. Then I will allow it to download. You're going to see the progress in this section. You can see it's now downloading, right? So kindly patiently wait for this process to get done. It's almost done. Now it's done downloading. I'm going to click on next and installation process will begin. So click on execute. Just give it some minutes and allow the installation process to be done. It doesn't take so much time. So we are done now. let's click on next. Next again. Next, you don't need to make any change to that. So click on next. Now you need to enter your MySQL root password. This has to just be something very basic you can remember. So I'm going to use just any password of your choice. Now you might see something like password strength weak. Ignore that and click on next. So whatever password you've entered and you are still seeing the password strength to be weak, ignore that and click next. Click next again. Next, execute. Then allow all of these configuration steps to have its course, and thereafter we'll continue. Yeah, done now. So let's click on finish. Few more setup. Click on next. Now here you need to enter the password that you created before. So enter the password here. Click on check. It will check. So as you can see, it is successful. Click on next. Execute these steps. Now it's done. Click on finish. Next. Yeah, I want to start my workbench after setup. So I'm going to click on finish and it's done. So the MySQL Workbench, which we have installed, will launch right now. So let's briefly wait for that. So there you go. We have MySQL Workbench launched. Now, for some reason, if you look at this section, you might not see your name written. You might see something like local something something something, right? Now, the reason mine is having my name is because I am signed in into my PC. Okay, that's why it's having it. But for you, if you're not signed in into your PC, yours might not have your name on it. So, but that's just by the way. The next phase is to walk you through the interface of this MySQL Workbench and show you how to use it step by step. So right now, I would like to give you a quick tour and overview of the MySQL Workbench. You see, when you begin to work with MySQL Workbench, many of the toolbars, the panels, and so many options may seem confusing and even sometimes quite overwhelming. But that needs not to be, because it's simply a basic interface that if you know what they represent and what you can do with them, it's easier for you to really navigate your way around working with the workbench. So in this particular section, what we are going to do is to, open the application and go through the interface and understand every part of it and what you can do. Quickly, let me open my workbench. So I'm going to search in my search box here, my SQL Workbench, and as you can see, there's a best match. So I'm just going to click on it and allow the application to load. All right, so there you go. This is my SQL Workbench. Welcome to my SQL Workbench. And as you can see the description here, my SQL Workbench is the official GUI tool for my SQL. It allows you to design, create, and browse database schemas, work with database objects, and insert data, as well as design and run SQL queries to work with stored data. And of course, you can do several other things. Now, this particular page where we are, it's what is called the start page, right? This is called the start page, the start page of my SQL. So within this page, there are a couple of things. As you can see, we have the browse documentation. So if you want to read the documentation of my SQL, you can read it just by clicking on this link. If you want to read their blog, you can as well do that. If you want to join the discussions in the forum, you can as well come to this place and do that. But one important thing I want you to pay attention to is this my connection area. So within this particular point, you can create your connections. It can even have your name. I actually changed this when I was trying to do something. Yours may have something like local instance, MySQL 80 or something. Now, this application comes with a server which we installed during the installation process. So the server helps us to connect to the database server that powers or manages the databases we're going to be working with, right? Then we have this main bar. Okay, these are just tabs, different tabs. You can do a whole lot of things here, but this is not what we are concerned about. We are just concerned about how do we use this particular application for SQL and database management, right? So I'm going to clear up this. Now, for this particular connection, what I want you to do first is you can actually add more connection if you want, but there is no need for that. Okay, I clicked on that plus sign, and that's why this thing is coming up. You click on it again, it will also come up. So within this, you can create another connection. So let me just show you how that is done. So I can create another connection that is called Chris Josh. Okay, and I'll test connection. I'll have to enter my root password, that password I created while I was installing the application. So I'm going to enter it here and click OK. To be successful, yes, just click OK. Now I have another connection. So this connection is different from this, right? So this is a different connection. This is another connection. So these are some of the things you can do. I can even delete this one. Okay, I can even delete this if I want. You can see delete connection, delete all connection. I don't want to delete it now, but let me just keep it at that. Now for you, all I want you to do is to rename your own from local instance to your name. Okay, your first name and your last name. So right click, let me show you again. Right click on it, click on edit connection, and the dialog box will show up. So when it shows up now, so you can just clear everything and type Chris. And sometimes you may notice that behavior. So what you can do is Chris, then OK. Then you can now delete this and close. There's no need testing it, just close it. So I'm going to delete this one now. Delete connection. Yes, it's deleted. Click on it. Now this might not require me to log in because I've logged in with this particular connection before, but yours might require you to log in. So what you need to do is, don't worry about this, I'm just going to clear them off. So yours may require you to enter your password. So simply enter your password and check that box where it says save to vault, save password to vault. So check it. After you've done that and you've logged into MySQL Workbench like this, you'll be greeted with this interface. So I want us to now walk through this interface and understand what this interface is all about. The first part which I want to show you is what is called the navigator. Okay, so this area, as you can see, is called the navigator. So I'm going to put it inside here. So this is navigator. This area is called the navigator, and the navigator contains two tabs, the schema and the administration. So if you look at this particular point, you have the administration, you also have the schema here. Now the schema allows you to navigate through the database objects you have. So you can see the databases. Now these ones are the ones that came through the installation, Sakila, SYS, that's from the system, and the Word databases. So these are all databases, and as we begin the learning, you'll understand these things better. But the schema allows you to navigate through your databases. So I can actually open this up and show you a few things, but I'm going to do that much later. The administration, this particular part, contains all the tools for managing your SQL server. Something like your server status, the users, the starting and shutting down the server, and a whole lot. So you can see the server status, the client connection, the users, and the privileges. Now, this particular tab is mostly used by DBA, the database administrators. Okay. Then next to that, we have the toolbars. Okay. We have the toolbars. We have the main toolbar, which is this. This particular part is called the main toolbar. This main. So this is the main toolbar. Now the main toolbar contains the most frequently used functions in SQL. For example, you can create a new SQL tab, you can create a new table, you can create a new schema from this particular main toolbar. For instance, if you click on file, you can see new model, new tab, a lot of things you can do here, but as we continue, you will understand it better. So we also have the query toolbar, and this is the query toolbar. Okay, so this is what is called the query toolbar. So let me write it here. So this is the query toolbar. Okay, now we have other things that you also need to know. The editor. Okay, this is called the editor. This particular produce this. So this whole place is called the query edit. Query editor. So this is where you write your SQL query. So pay attention to that. This is where you write all of your SQL queries. Next to that is the result grid. Now the result grid is this particular section, but you can only see it if we have a query we're already running. If there's no query, you cannot see the result. So the result grid displays the result of your query, right? The result of your query is displayed within the result grid. It appears only after you have executed a select statement. The data returned from the database is displayed from the table. So from the particular table you have, that's what is displayed in the result query. Now, also within this particular section, we have the output log. Okay, the output log, every action you perform, anything you do here, let's say you create a database, it will, track it it will track it in the output log. If you delete or drop a database or table, it will also be tracked in this particular section. Okay, now we have this SQL add-ons, which is a very helpful tool that gives you description of your SQL syntax and usage. But for me, most of the times I decide to hide it because I rarely use it. So if I want to hide it, I'm going to click on this place. Just click it, it gets hidden. If I click on it again, it will bring it out. I can decide to expand it or reduce the size. But like I said, I do love to keep it out of the screen like this. And for some reason, I also do like keeping off the output log. So by clicking on this, it gets out. So I will now have a full screen for my query editor. I have a full query editor screen where I can write my code. So I can decide to write something like select, and I would say select everything. There's no database here, but let me just show you a quick. Let me click on this database, click on tables, click on this, and maybe let me query any of this. Okay, so let me query this. So you can see the result. Okay, can you see? Select everything from this particular table. Circular is the name of the database, dot the address table. So you can see all the data in this particular table, right? So this is the result itself, and that's just it. So I can also decide to hide my navigator by clicking here, and I'll have a full screen like this. Okay, I can decide to close this result. I'll just have a full screen. But most times I like keeping this particular pane, the navigator pane, active like this. The other thing I want you to pay attention to is this query toolbar. Now, the query toolbar is very important because it's one of the things you're going to be working with most of the time. So let me quickly show you what they do. So for this particular one, you can use this to open a script that is saved in your PC if you have one. Yeah, I actually have one, but I'm not going to show you now. you can click on this to save this particular query that you have written. Let's say when you are done writing a query that does a particular thing for you, you want to save it so that when next you launch your MySQL Workbench, you can have access to them, either to continue your work or to share it with someone else. Okay. Now to execute your query, when after you've written them, you use this part, and this is one of the most important toolbars that are here, the query toolbar, because this is what executes your SQL commands. This particular one executes everything in the query editor. But this one, that's the second one, only executes the line of code you are in. Let's say as this is blinking now, if I click on this, it will only execute what is here. But I can have multiple select statements doing different things here. So I can have select everything from, okay, from let's say Sakila dot actor, for instance. So if I want to run only this, I can click on this and it will be evaluated. Can you see? But everything is still in the same page. If I want to execute this one, I'll click on this. It will only execute this particular one. But if I want to execute the both of them, I can click this, everything here. As you can see, it's as if, but I now have two result tabs here. Can you see? We have two result tabs for both of them. So that's the difference between them. Then for this one, you can use this for explainer, which is beyond the scope of our lesson now. So I'm not going to touch on that at all. Now, we will be using these ones much later when we begin the real hands-on section, right? Now here, you get information about a particular table or column that you are in. You can see we've clicked on the actors table. And not only that, for the columns, we have the actors ID column, the first name, the last name, the last update. As you can see, those are the column names we have in this particular table. Now for the section information, you can get a whole lot of information here. The name of the connection, the host is a local host, the port is 3306, the login user is the root, the current user is the root at the local host. I mean, this is a bit technical, and I'm not going to explain it because it's not too relevant for you. And if you also look at the connector here, the version is C++ 9.1.0. That is one of the reasons that makes MySQL very performant, because it's built on C++. That's actually also irrelevant to the focus of this training, so let's not go into that. All right, so I think we are almost done. The other thing I need to show you is some of these things here. I will be touching on it as the classes continue. Now for this particular part, let me close off all of this and show you something. Let's say, for instance, you have a blank page like this where there is no query editor opened. Now to open a query editor, you can just click on this. You can see create a new SQL tab for executing queries. So I'll click on it and a new query editor will be opened. Now this one, if you want to open an SQL script already written in your PC, you can click on it and this will show up. This is more like having this kind of functionality. Okay, this and this, it's almost the same thing. Then for this one, you can inspect a particular database. You can create a new database from here. And like I said before, please refer back to what we did in the introduction, that when it comes to data organization in MySQL, database and schema, they are synonymous. So if you hover on this, you notice that it says create a new schema in the connected server. It's the same thing as creating a new database. I'm going to walk you through that much later. Then for this, create a new table. A table is the particular structure that holds the actual data in your database. The particular structure that holds the actual data in your database, that's the table. Now for this, create a new view. Creating views and all of that, they are more advanced concepts which we are not going to cover in this training, and a few other things. But basically, this is just how the application works. But you will appreciate it better when we finally begin the hands-on section. So I look forward to seeing you in the next section. Do have a wonderful time.